It's Socrates back again. Today I'd like to talk about somebody who used to be one of my favorite people in the whole world, Bill Nye, the science guy. Now, Bill Nye has always been an advocate for science, which I love. I love science and I really respect that he's always advocated for science and wanted to make it more mainstream and educate the masses that don't know anything about science. However, recently, I feel like Bill Nye has jumped on the social justice warrior progressive bandwagon and lost his mind, man. Lost his mind. And I have two main points that I think that he lost his mind about. One, he no longer says that there are only two genders when actually he used to say that. He used to, because that's the obvious truth. There are two genders. And I understand there are people who don't feel like they're in the correct body and all that. I don't care about any of that. But there are still only two genders. You're either male or female. Like if you're a male who thinks you're a female, you're still biologically male. And, he's just completely lost it on this topic. He has a new show in which he said that there was a shit ton of genders, and there was a dude on Joe Rogan just a couple days ago who said the same thing, and I think people have really deluded themselves. Rachel Dolezal, who said that she was black, has more of a standpoint than they do on the whole gender issue, because race is actually a social construct. There is no difference between us races. As a matter of fact, they did a study and they proved that there are more differences interracial than outside of the race. What I mean by that is, like for ethnically Chinese people, there are more variations in genetic code between Chinese people who are all Chinese and between Chinese people and black people, or Chinese people and white people. There's more variation in their own race than there is outside of their race compared to their race. Hope I explained that in a manner in which you all could get what I'm talking about. My other issue with Bill Nye is how he takes a stance on climate change. Now, I'm convinced that climate change is happening. And many people are, and there are many doubters out there, or many people who like to say, well, is it, mankind's fault that the climate's changing, or is it natural? I don't really care about any of that. However, when somebody questions Bill Nye, he just immediately goes to, I think it's called like ad populum fallacy. He just goes, 98% of scientists agree. What? How is that an answer? Like, if you're advocating for science, show us the fucking science. Don't just tell us how many people agree that this is truth. At one time, all scientists agreed that the earth was flat. The earth isn't fucking flat. We know that now. One guy changed the perception of that. And so when he's questioned, just simply stating, all scientists agree. Well, that's not even true, because people have asked for a list of all the scientists that actually agree, And what would it matter if for starters, even what would it matter if a scientist who is like an engineer agreed that there was climate change? He's not a climate change scientist, so it wouldn't matter if he agreed. It's just like, if a chef agreed or a fucking astronaut agreed. Well, it doesn't matter. They aren't the scientists who would know anything about that. And even Bill Nye is an engineer. He's not a climate change scientist. All I'm saying is that he used to have a show, Bill Nye the Science Guy, and basically a ripoff of Mr. Wizard World, which I'm perfectly cool with, because I don't know what the hell happened to Mr. Wizard. So, but he used to show the science, right? Show, here's this, and here's how this works, and here's that. And not only have they asked for a list of the scientists, but they've asked them to show their math and show their work and all this, and they won't release that either. Now, if 98% of scientists agreed, and it so definitely can't be spoke against, it's incontrovertible, well then, why not show your work? Why not show who is coming up with these numbers? Why not? You have nothing to lose. if you ask me, something is shady. Like, if Bill Nye the Science Guy doesn't want to show his work and show everyone how he came to those conclusions, how can I be left with any other conclusion than something seems shady, right? Like, even if climate change is real, how come Bill Nye can't recognize that he's not showing the science? Makes no sense to me, man. Now, I actually like Bill Nye, but I really think he has, made a few drastic mistakes here, and I don't understand why, no matter who points this out to him, he can't get this straight, I consider myself somewhere middle of the road type of guy. I agree with conservatives on some issues and liberals on other issues, but I consider myself sort of a libertarian in the true sense of the word. I don't want to take anything from anyone. I want people to enjoy the most freedoms with the least amount of restrictions as possible, as long as they're not hurting anyone, right? So, I don't know, call me crazy, but those two things just seem really off lately, and I feel like I have to say something about it. It's getting ridiculous. I mean, it's just about as ridiculous as feminism's match up with Islam. Like, why on earth would they have their back on this? I don't get it. Anyway, I'm Socrates. Until next time, peace.